I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you.
Oh, no!
God.
She doesn't want to have an unhappy experience, and that's why she got into politics.
No kidding.
That's why, to avoid negative experiences running as a Democrat in a Republican area. She doesn't want to have negative experience. Hey, I don't want to have anything bad. I want to have happy times. You should go into politics. Talk about power hungry. Here's Katie Porter. Katie Porter used to be a congressperson from Orange County, which is a purple district, which a lot of Republicans in Orange County. Did she lose her seat? Can you look that up? Oh, when she lost her seat? And now she's running for governor of California. She wants to take over from Gavin Newsom. And a lot of people say that she's the leading candidate. And she had a bizarre breakdown during, I don't know if it's a breakdown, but she snapped and revealed her true self.
She lost her bid for a Senate.
Oh, she ran for Senate.
Yes.
So she ran for Senate so she couldn't run for Congress at the same time. So that's why she's no longer a congressperson. So here she is, and she sat down with this interview, and it just seems like regular questions. And watch how she just completely snaps at this reporter. Watch this. This is kind of mental.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%, everybody who... So
that was such a weird... How would I need them to win, ma'am? Ma'am. So, well, you would need, because usually there's going to be another Democrat in the race. So the way California has it, they have an open primary, and everybody runs. Republicans, Democrats run in the same primary, and then the top two candidates run against each other. So it's a very good chance that the top two candidates will be Democrats. So that's why you would need Republican votes to win. That would be one reason. That's one idea. But here we go.
did not vote for Trump.
Let's start again.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think...
Well, that's got to make the half the state, 40% of the state feel great. The person wants to be governor doesn't need you. I don't need them. I don't need 40% of the state. I'm not going to be governor for everybody. I'm a sociopathic, narcissistic maniac. Okay, here we go.
Okay, 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's...
But it's a very good chance it's not you against a Republican, because you know the way we have a screwy primary system in California. You could face another Democrat.
You versus another Democrat.
I don't intend that to be the case.
Oh, I don't intend that to be the case. So screw it. I don't need those 40%. I don't intend that to be the case. How? What? Who do you don't get to decide who's the other person running in the race. I don't intend that to be the case.
How do you not intend that to be the case?
How?
Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. Mm-hmm. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't think...
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
What? The question is the same...
You ever see someone do that? Right in your face. This is unnecessarily argumentative. Those seem like very rational follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Thank you.
And that's how she's going to act
You're
when
not
she goes
gonna
on press
do the-
conferences, when she's really in a power of position. She's going to end any interview.
That's exactly what she's going to do. Yeah, okay, I'm not answering questions.
And this journalist...
These are the most polite questions. These are some of the most polite questions I've ever heard asked of a politician who wants to be the governor of 44 million people live in California now. She wants to be the governor of 44 million people, which is much bigger than most countries. And she can't handle polite questions from a female reporter? Sorry. Stop.
Interview with us.
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't
our
care.
follow-ups.
I don't care.
I don't care. That sounds like a new campaign t-shirt, right? Vote Katie Porter. I don't care.
I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never had to do
reporter.
this before, ever.
You've never had to have a
end an
conversation
interview.
with
To end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make...
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these. And if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you.
no!
God.
She doesn't want to have an unhappy experience, and that's why she got into politics.
No kidding.
That's why, to avoid negative experiences running as a Democrat in a Republican area. She doesn't want to have negative experience. Hey, I don't want to have anything bad. I want to have happy times. You should go into politics. It's all shits and giggles. Can you believe she's saying this to a reporter? I don't want to have a negative experience. I want to have a happy time. happy time, okay? She can't handle the easiest questions in the world. Of course, this is the sociopath that wants to become governor. Of course. And she is a sociopath. She ran for me when she was running for Congress. I went to the Democratic convention in California that was held in San Diego, and she ran for me. She wouldn't talk to me. This is going back, what year was that, 2017?
I think so.
2017 or 2018? And she ran for me. She wouldn't answer a YouTuber's questions. Of course she's not going to answer these questions.
Well, she wanted a happy experience, Jimmy.
She wanted a happy experience. I brought her a birthday cake. She ate it, and then she didn't answer any of my questions.
I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that
Just a couple of gals trying to have a happy experience during a political convention campaign. That's all.
This is like 5-year-olds talking.
These are like 5-year-olds talking.
It's unbelievable.
Hang on, let me back it up.
every legislative
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you. And I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every
It's a comedy
candidate
sketch.
feels about every one of these issues that they
This
care
is like a
about.
comedy sketch.
And redistricting is
Like if I was going to write a sketch for a guy getting interviewed or a lady getting interviewed for governor, this is what I wouldn't have to change a word.
Like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler could do this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
massive issue.
I think Steph Zamorano and Misha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to do an entire story just on the responses to that question. And I've asked everybody the same follow-up questions.
You know, I just want to say really quickly, Jimmy, like we know, like, you know, if you're running for office, one of the things you should do is you answer the question you want them to ask you. She
Right.
could have been talking about policies
She could have said
the whole time. She could have said, "This is what I'm running on." But she
Yes.
didn't. She wanted to have this little weird
She could have-
Mrs. Doubtfire argument.
She even said that reporter even said to her, "Hey, I'll ask the question. If you don't want to answer it, don't answer it, and we'll move on to the next question."
Well,
she even said that to her.
I want a happy experience.
I want to have a happy experience. I don't want to have an unpleasant time here.
This also seems like the modern like Democrat attitude of if you don't think like me, I don't even want to talk
That's
to
right.
you or whatever. Like, and you know, I say things like that and people think I'm like a Trump guy and I'm not.
Right.
But just by pointing out that, Democrats have this thing where they don't want to talk, even engage with anybody that think differently, or they don't even matter. Who cares?
That's what she sounds like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But my question for you, Chris, is why do you like Trump? Why are you such a Trump guy? I didn't know you were MAGA. Wow, do your friends know that? Maybe that's why they don't talk to you.
Maybe she was just hangry.
Maybe she's hangry. Oh, Steph, that is.
I said maybe.
I do not endorse that kind of comedy on the show. I do not endorse that guy. I reject and denounce you. But guess what? Turns out she's not really a good person. After all, Representative Katie Porter scalded her ex-husband's scalp with potatoes.
Yes.
The former husband, so they got divorced, and in the divorce papers, he laid out what a horrible person she is, right? Now, it's one-sided, but here's what got reported. The former husband of Representative Katie Porter said the California Democrat frequently abused him verbally and threw toys, books, and other objects at him during their marriage, even pouring scalding hot mashed potatoes on his head during a fight. Can you get any whiter than that? Come on. Whoa. That is about as white and suburban of a crime as I could ever have imagined. The perpetrator assaulted the victim with hot mashed potatoes, scalded his scalp. But let's face it, her husband was obviously asking for it by bugging her with questions about redistricting. Am I right? I want to have a happy time with my potatoes. He might have got a full head of mashed potatoes, but I think he dodged a bullet, if you know what I mean. His name's Matthew Hoffman, who filed for divorce from Porter in 2013, said in a request for a restraining order, he wanted a restraining order against her. Bit of a maniac, huh? Dated April 30th of that year, that he was routinely called a effing idiot and an effing incompetent by his rage-prone spouse, who also shattered a glass coffee pot on their kitchen counter in March of 2012 when she felt their house wasn't clean enough. Now, there's been lots of private text released about her from her former staff to the point where she was asked about it by a newsperson. And so here's one of them. I worked on Katie's campaign. I had multiple panic attacks. She was always screaming at her staffers over the phone during her fundraising call time. Her consultants aren't any better because you have to be just as insane as Katie to work for her. I love her, but I've never hated my life more than when I worked for her. I've worked for many reps, and her campaign has more turnover, more burnt out 22 to 25-year-olds than I've ever seen, including myself, because she treats people like shit. Her staffers also treat people like shit. It was a vicious cycle and just made everyone miserable. So there's tons of those kinds of things going around about her and her staffer. And she was in the top 5 turnover. Her staff had like the top 5 turn, just like Kamala Harris. Her whole staff turned over. People to miserable working for her. Same thing for her. Okay. She goes through. Oh no, I can't do this joke. You want to do number 4? I can't do number 4.
Let's see what number 4 has to say. But hey, she goes through staffers like she goes through Stouffer's dinners.
Oh come on, that's got a line. That's out of line. Come on, you're a woman, and you say that. You're a lady?
I am a lady. I have double X chromosomes, and I remember that because I pasties.
This is what she gets. That you know what? This is what she gets for being coached on interviews by Barry Weiss. If you know what I'm talking about. Come on. Oh boy. But here she is on the Bill Maher show, and the topic of trans sports comes up. And here we go.
You should be able to have a civil debate. Nobody, including Riley Gaines, who I disagree with strongly, should feel
What do you disagree with, out of interest?
She's so bad she makes Piers Morgan look like a sage. But here we go.
I think that it should be up to sporting bodies to make their decisions about who and how should compete.
What has she said that's actually wrong?
I think that what she has done is try to turn this. We talked about people, using things to kind of get likes and get clicks.
That's not what she's doing.
It's not.
I've got no truck for Riley Gaines personally, but all I've seen her do is stand up for women's rights to fairness and equality.
Well,
She actually competed against Leah Thomas, and it was obviously unfair. Leah Thomas won one of the races in the NCAA championships by 50 seconds against a bunch of biological females who simply couldn't keep up. That cannot be right. It cannot be fair.
That is something that I think our sporting bodies should be dealing with. And by the way, Riley is speaking up for herself, and that is her prerogative, and I respect her free speech.
I think she's speaking up for pretty much every female athlete in the world.
I mean, wasn't that the point of Title IX? Title IX in the early 70s was something that was it was a major event in feminism, that we finally have this law that says at colleges, right, and I think high schools too, but definitely colleges, women's sports have to be given equal to men's sports, so that women aren't and this led to the WNBA and lots of other stuff. This seems to be the opposite of that. It seems to be so many instances, I think, where wokeness is the opposite of what I grew up as liberalism. Liberalism was, let's give the women an equal shot. This is let's put a male in the swimming pool with the women. I don't get it.
It's crazy. And meanwhile, trans people who genuinely want to compete at athletics and swimming or whatever it may be, they're the ones who are suffering here. They need to be found a way to compete fairly and justly.
Well, what's your answer then?
I think there's one or two answers. I think they either compete against their biological sex, as many of them did before, or you create an entirely new category for transgender athletes.
Yeah, it's not brain surgery.
And then they're able to compete
You really think
But
he's
what
going to
you
have an answer for
cannot
that?
do is continue to allow more and more trans athletes to start decimating women's records, in some cases, irrevocably. It's just not fair.
Okay, I got to end it there.
You would actually think like Katie Porter would understand that position.
You would think.
That Riley Gaines is taking,
Because
especially,
she's a woman.
Yeah, and she looks athletic too.
Well, just because she can clothesline a fullback on the turf doesn't mean the average female athlete should have to. Come on.
Come on.
So she's just trying to have a happy time. She doesn't want to have a negative experience with the reporter. I just want to be governor of 44 million people. What's with the bad vibes? You're really wrecking my buzz over here. Okay. I hope she wins, so then we have a lot of comedy material for the next 4 years. I actually hope she doesn't win. I hope Adam Carolla runs. Why doesn't he run?
I don't know. Maybe he likes his.
Maybe he likes his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he likes his life. Okay. You know who's going to run is that Rick Caruso.
Again?
Yeah. I bet you. No, he ran for mayor.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. I bet he runs. And who knows? Maybe our friend Elaine Colati will run. If she does, that'd be good. She'd make a great governor.
That'd be cool.
She's got no nonsense solutions. That's what I like.
I have a dumb question about this.
Okay.
So why don't trans women compete in the men's league? I know that sounds bad. I don't know. But
because they're women. What's wrong with you?
But just
they're
on a
ladies.
You can be a lady.
And cross-dressers aren't a thing anymore. It's not a fetish. It's a real thing. Just because you've just like the flu that disappeared during COVID, cross-dressers have disappeared during the age of trans.
Well, like if I was a trans woman, and many people think I am, Jimmy.
Yeah. I'd like to see pictures.
I would want to compete fairly, right? I think most people would want to compete fairly. Misha's shaking her head.
I want a pleasant and polite competition. That's all I want.
I want a happy competition.
I don't know. I was just thinking, like, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like some of those trans athletes, they're really not into it for the fair thing.
Well, you could be a lady and just compete in that league where you physically it makes sense. I don't know. I'm just.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know. Have you seen some of the trans athletes? They don't seem to be. They're not all about fairness. They're not about the level playing field.
Yeah.
That's not what they're.
The ones that are on the news.
Especially the one that Riley Gaines lost to.
Right.
Yeah, the guy who was 700th in male swimming, and then boom, he became.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he became a she, and she became the top female swimmer. Isn't that something? It's weird. October 19th will be in Irvine, California. We'll be in Australia. Then we'll be in Burbank, California the day after Thanksgiving. And then Pottstown, Pennsylvania, December 6th. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.